Hi Stampers, it's Gigi with StampFUNatics, and I just wanted to wish you a happy Memorial Day. And you know, I support the troops, and I have a nephew who is serving overseas, and so I always think of him at this time of the year, and I'm really grateful and thankful for everything he's doing over there. He has sacrificed a lot of family holidays where we all get together and we enjoy our freedom, and he's over there and he's protecting us. So I just want to give a big shout out and thank you. And I just wanted to share a card with you today. Now, some of it is some of our retiring products, so you still have a couple days before June 1st. At the end of May is when these retiring products will go away. Here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with a piece of Pacific Point, and this cardstock is 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it in the middle here at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that and give it a nice crease. I usually take my bone folder and just kind of crease it off like that. The next piece I used is a piece of Whisper White that I cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to be using our Lucky Stars. Now this is on the retiring list. You can pick this up, it is a good buy. And I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and I'm going to emboss the stars that are on there. When you look at the card, you don't really see a lot of the stars, but they do peek through, and I just like that for interest. You could leave your card, you know, plain white if you wanted to, but I just think the more stars, the more patriotic. So I went ahead and I'm going to take out my Big Shot, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then I took my Swirly Bird framelits that we have, and I just used this one. And what I did was I took some real red cardstock, and I went ahead, just to save some time, and I did cut out 3 of these. So we're going to be using those as part of our flag. The next thing I did, let's see, well, I'll show you the stamp sets that we're going to be using today. And this one is For Your Country. This is retiring. I already marked mine, but you can still probably pick it up. And we're going to be using this stamp today. And then I'm also going to use a new set called Wood Words. And I'm not going to use the stamps, but the wood crate that is part of this bundle is awesome. And it actually comes with a star framelit in there. And I'll show you from the stamps, this little star here, it's a framelit that can cut that out. Now, if you can't get this yet till June 1st, so if you already have in your stash the mini treat bag, it has also a star that you can use, or you can wait a few days and go ahead and order this set because it's awesome. So that's what I used for the star over here. I cut a piece of blue Pacific Point. This is 2 inch by 1 3/4. And then I used my circle framelits, and I'll show you that as we go along. They're the largest ones. The scalloped I did in the Pacific Point, and then the white one after I stamp it is also in the Whisper White. Then I took the smallest of our circle framelits, and I used the scallop one. And I already kind of went ahead to save some time here. And I cut out a piece of our silver glimmer paper, and that's what's going to be the background to, again, another star that we'll cut out with that little thank you. And that thank you is on this stamp set right there. So it just worked out perfect. So let's get started. First thing I think I'll do is go ahead and emboss. So I'll bring in my Big Shot, and I'm using my tab one because I want to emboss. So when you're embossing, you have 2 tabs. You have 1 and 2, and I'm going to flip that open and use tab 1. And then I'm always going to sandwich it. I'm going to put a plate down. I'm going to take my framelit, my embossing folder, and I'm just going to use the stamping side up. That's how I always usually emboss. Make sure you kind of have it straight inside. Put it on your plate, and then always put another plate on top. And then we're just going to run it through. And that's all it takes. It's really, really easy. And there's our stars. I don't know if you can see with white, but they're embossed and they look great. And I'm going to now close this part. I'm just going to do everything on this plate today so you can see how to use it. When we do our cutting later, you want to always have it on tab 2, so you're going to have this whole thing closed so you get a tighter feel, and then you get to put that on when you go to cut. So let me get this out for now. So right now we have our card base, and then we have our next layer. I'll bring in the card so you can still look at it. And we have our card layer with the embossing, so we can go ahead and put that on, but what I want to do is put my red pieces on first, and I'll show you why. I'm going to cut off the ends. So I'm just going to use these. I guess I started this way to begin with, and then I kind of went across. Let's see. I'm kind of play around with it. I think I did do something like this. And then maybe one more, and we can kind of tilt them. Actually, this one's going to go all the way across. And then one more down there. So just kind of make a little red and white look. It doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see with the other layers on it, it'll all work out. So I'm just going to take some of my snail and just lightly go over these edges. And what you can also do is take your silicone mat and you can put a little bit of glue, take a sponge, and you can just sponge it on too, and it won't be as sticky. You can see some of the glue gets here, but that doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to go ahead and sort of put it like that, because then my blue piece that I have, it's going to go on top, and so it won't really show. Now this little piece here, I'm probably going to cut off. So let me get my paper snips, and I'll go ahead and see. I want to put that right up in that corner, so I know I'm going to snip about that much there. So let's get this little piece and snip it until it doesn't show. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on next, so I know where it's going to be on the card. All right, and then these extra pieces down here, I'm just going to turn over and I'm just going to cut it off, just like that. All right, so then we want our next layer, which I guess about there would be good. So let's go ahead and just put a little bit, just kind of dabbing it on. You do want to get your ends good. And then I'm just going to, let's see, which way? I think I do want to go this way. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that on. I want to make sure I get the ends. So let's go a little bit off on each end. And then again, I can just turn it over and snip. And do the same thing over here. This card goes pretty quick. You just might want to do all of your cutting first, so that way you just have it all to assemble. And then the last piece will go down there. And let's see how far. Let's get some of that extra glue out of there so it doesn't show. Let's try it about there. That's good. And then on this side, I did cut on the ends and on the bottom. So let me make sure that's down good. And then I'm just gonna, I think I need a little bit more glue here on the ends. Wasn't sure how far we'd go, and I didn't want to get my scissors all icky with glue. Let's just take that and that. And then there. And just give it a little trim all the way around. And then this last little piece is still not wanting to stay down. I'm going to give it a little more glue. And there we go. All right. And then I like the stars showing there. And then when we put this part on, it's actually going to hide a little bit of that. So I'm not even going to worry about it. All right. So let's clean up some of this first. Get all this out of here. All right. I hope you all are enjoying Memorial Day with your family and friends. I think tomorrow we'll do a little barbecue here and have a few friends over. But today I just wanted to do this for my nephew, and so I can post it and have it out there for all the people in the service. All right, so now I could add this to my card. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and stamp our servicemen. And how I did this one is I didn't even actually pull out one of my stamp pads. I'm using my basic black marker. I really wanted to get a really clear and black look on my stamp. So I'm actually going to color it. Make sure I'm getting it in the camera. Yep. Oops. I'm off a little bit there. I think that'll be okay though. And then I'm just coloring all the way and getting it really black. And I would go in a couple directions just so if you have your Stampin' Write markers, they always come in handy when we're just doing one stamp or you just want to maybe change up the colors and everything. You can always use that. Just give it a little huff. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And there you go. Nice, clear, crisp stamp. Okay, so now I'm ready for my big shot again. And I'm going to go ahead and take my largest circle die to cut him out. And at the same time, I can go ahead and take my blue and do my scalloped. And I could probably even go ahead. Let's see, what else did I need? Oh, I need to stamp my thank you. So let's do that, and I could probably run that through at the same time too. So I'm going to use my Pacific Point blue ink. And let me get my little thank you stamp. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. And now we're ready, and we can go ahead and get the big shot out once and get up the rest of these pieces. So let me go get that and get this out of the way so they don't get stomped on. All right, like I said, we're going to use our our platform closed this time. So you'll see it'll be on tab 2. I'm always going to put a plate down at the bottom. And then I'm going to put on my blue. I'm going to go ahead and line up my little guy here. Let's see. That's about even. And I could do my little thank you. Let me just cut this little piece down a little bit. All right. And that I'm doing with the small little scalloped framelit. Okay. You know what? That looks a little smudged. Let me re-stamp that. I don't like the way that looks. I think it was still kind of wet. This is a pretty juicy stamp pad, so I'm just doing this off camera, but it's the same thing that I just did. All right, that looks a little better. And then I'm going to put on my circle and just kind of have everything lined up the way I want it. And then I'll go ahead and put my plate on. Now, I kind of put my plate in on an angle, and then when I'm ready to, I lay it flat down so I don't shift anything. And then I go ahead and push that through. Once it grabs, I go ahead and just crank the rest of it. Okay, so we have our serviceman. We have our scallop background. And we have our thank you. Ooh. Okay, we're rewinding. I did cut my thank you out in a circle, but I didn't need a circle. I needed a star shape. So I'm going to stamp it one more time with my Pacific Point. This is how it goes when you're live. And let me find my stamp again. There we go. And what I want this to be is actually the star. So I am going to put that back through. And just line it up with my thank you. Okay. And then put on my plate and run it through. I'm trying to make it the same way I just showed you, so I don't want to change it. If I was making a card, probably would have gone with it that way and just made it work and maybe reversed it. But this is how it's going to look on the card. We're going to put the thank you right on top of the glimmer paper. All right, so let's get the big shot out and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to take my Pacific Point piece. I'm going to add on my serviceman. And this I actually did pop up with some dimensionals, so I'm just going to put a couple on like that. And we're just going to put him right about in the middle. I'm going to make the flag go straight and make him on more of an angle. think that's interesting. No, I don't think I like that. Never mind. I'm going to put the ground straight and make the flag be at an angle, like he's holding it at an angle. Okay, then I'm going to take our silver star that we cut out. I'm also going to pop that up and put my star right over the blue. And then we have our thank you that we did, and I'm going to actually use a dimensional when it's on the silver glimmer, because the glimmer paper doesn't tend to stick as well unless it's glued or it has a very strong adhesive, and these glue dots work pretty good. But then I'm going to take some snail and I'm just going to put it flat on the card so I don't have it up too high. And I'll just put that down right there in that corner. Okay, and the one last thing that I did that I don't know if you've noticed up here is I actually put one of our gold enamel shapes when I took our stars and I put it right in the center of that star. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to just take my paper piercer, take my little gold star. It just reminded me of the gold and silver stars that the service people earn for their bravery. My dad actually got a silver star and a few purple hearts. He used to be the one that went ahead of the troops back in World War II, and he would find the mines. So he had shrapnel a few times and everything, and he earned this for his bravery. I don't know how I would have that kind of bravery, but he did. So those are our cards for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Some of these items, like I said, are going on the retiring list. They're gone in about 2 days. So if you don't have them, grab them up now because you'll get them at a good deal. And then our new items will be coming out, like the wood crate and the wood words stamp set. These two will be coming out June 1st. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to have you as a customer, and you can order on my website, StampFUNatics.com, and just click shop. Have a wonderful Memorial Day and have fun. Thank you.